At the turn of the 20th century, Princess Margaret and Princess Patricia, the daughters of Prince Arthur and Princess Louise Margaret of Prussia, were among the most admired royals in Europe. As granddaughters of Queen Victoria, their beauty and lineage made them highly sought after for a royal marriage. Matchmakers envisioned them beside kings and crown princes. But not all royal stories follow the expected path. One of the sisters made a bold choice. She married a commoner and gave up her royal titles, choosing love over duty in a world defined by tradition. Princess Margaret was born on January 15, 1882 at Bagshot Park. 2 months later, she was baptized in the private chapel of Windsor Castle. Though her full name was Margaret Victoria Charlotte Augusta Nora, her family affectionately called her Daisy. Her younger sister, Princess Patricia, was born 4 years later on March 17, 1886, St. Patrick's Day. She was christened Victoria, Patricia, Helena, Elizabeth, but within the family she was simply Patsy. Her baptism took place at St. Anne's Church. The sisters had one brother, Prince Arthur, born in 1883. Raised in the royal tradition, the children were educated at home. With access to their father's extensive library and a team of private tutors, Margaret and Patricia studied geography, history, math, music, and dance. Patricia developed a keen interest in languages, while Margaret pursued painting, receiving lessons in oil painting from the Impressionist artist Madeleine Fleury. In 1905, Princess Margaret, then 23, and Princess Patricia, 18, embarked on a royal tour with their parents. Their first stop was the court of Portugal. There they were received by the king and queen and introduced to their sons, Prince Louis Philippe, heir to the throne, and his younger brother, Prince Manuel. Rumors swirled that one of the Connaught sisters might become the future queen of Portugal. But no match was made, and the tour continued to Sudan and Egypt. While in Cairo, the sisters met Prince Gustav Adolf of Sweden, grandson of Swedish King Oscar II. Though Patricia had originally been considered a potential match, it was Margaret who captured the young prince's heart. It was love at first sight for the both of them. At a dinner at the British consulate, Gustav Adolf proposed, and Margaret gladly accepted. Their unexpected romance was warmly welcomed by both families. On June 15, 1905, Princess Margaret married Prince Gustav Adolf at St. George's Chapel, Windsor Castle. After a honeymoon in Ireland, the newlyweds made their official entry into Sweden on July 8th. Among her wedding gifts was the exquisite Connaught tiara, which remains a treasured piece in the Swedish royal collection to this day. Margaret quickly became pregnant, and the couple's first child was born on April 22, 1906. Over the next decade, Margaret gave birth to 4 more children. Despite royal duties, Margaret was a devoted parent, determined to be actively involved in her children's upbringing. In 1907, Princess Margaret, known in Sweden as Margareta, became crown princess. She embraced her new life wholeheartedly. Her marriage to Prince Gustav Adolf was a happy one, and her warmth brought what many described as a fresh English breeze to the Swedish court. Within just 2 years, Margaret spoke fluent Swedish and developed a deep appreciation for the country's culture and history, often traveling incognito to explore it firsthand. An avid sportswoman, she enjoyed skiing, ice skating, and hockey in winter, and took to tennis and golf during the summer months. Margaret was also a gifted photographer and painter, and had a lifelong love of gardening. At Sofiero Palace, a wedding gift from the Swedish royal family, she designed a stunning English-style garden. In 1915 and 1917, she published 2 volumes of her artwork and photography, with all proceeds donated to charity. During World War I, Crown Princess Margaret played an active role on the home front. She founded a sewing society to provide soldiers with much-needed clothing and trained young women in agricultural work to support the war effort. Amid the turbulence, tragedy struck. The sister's mother passed away suddenly. As the war drew to a close, Margaret embraced the movement towards Sweden's full democracy. Her optimism and support for the reform deeply influenced her husband, Crown Prince Gustav Adolf. At a time when the reigning king and queen were resistant to change, Margaret's progressive spirit is believed to have helped safeguard the future of the Swedish monarchy. In April 1920, Crown Princess Margaret fell ill with measles, which led to complications in her ear. She underwent surgery for a mastoid infection, but the pain persisted. Eventually, Margaret developed a serious bacterial infection. On the night of April 30th, her condition worsened. She had developed sepsis, and in the early hours of May 1st, she passed away. Tragically, Margaret was also pregnant with her 6th child at the time of her death. She was laid to rest in her wedding dress and veil, in a coffin made of English oak, draped with the flags of Sweden and the United Kingdom. Her passing was deeply mourned in both countries. While Margaret had settled into royal life in Sweden, Princess Patricia remained with her parents and continued to travel extensively. When her father, Prince Arthur, was posted to New Delhi, Patricia spent 2 years in India, living at the Connaught Place. In 1911, Arthur was appointed Governor-General of Canada, prompting the family's journey across the Atlantic. Patricia quickly became a beloved figure there, even appearing on the Canadian $1 note. In 1918, she was named Colonel-in-Chief of the Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry, a role which she held with pride until her death. Though her late uncle, King Edward VII, had hoped she would marry a foreign prince or king, Patricia followed her heart, choosing to marry Alexander Ramsay, a commoner. Princess Patricia and Alexander Ramsay are believed to have fallen in love in Canada, where Ramsay served as aide-de-camp to her father, Prince Arthur. Initially, Patricia's father opposed the marriage, but after much persuasion, he finally gave his blessing. The couple's engagement was announced in December 1918. As a member of the British royal family, Patricia required the king's consent to marry. Her cousin, King George V, granted that permission under the Royal Marriages Act of 1772. Their wedding took place on February 27, 1919 at Westminster Abbey. The regiment Patricia led attended the ceremony and played their march. Following the marriage, Patricia chose to relinquish her royal title and style. From that day forward, she was known simply as Lady Victoria Patricia Helena Elizabeth Ramsay. Almost exactly 9 months after their wedding, Patricia and Alexander welcomed their only child, a son named Alexander. Although Patricia had relinquished her royal style and title, she and her family remained active members of the British royal family, attending almost all major events. Like her sister, Patricia was a talented artist, specializing in watercolors. As such, she was made an honorary member of the Royal Institute of Painters in Watercolors. In later years, Patricia and her husband lived at Kensington Palace. During World War II, Alexander retired from his role as an admiral and passed away in 1972. Patricia outlived him by just over a year, passing away in January 1974. She was the only child of Prince Arthur to outlive him. The couple rests together at the Royal Burial Ground at Frogmore.